Welcome to the main character manifestation frequency, where identity, energy, and the intention meet, and your life stops running on default. I am Renee. I am your host. Let the shift begin.
Let's go!
Welcome back to another episode of Main Character Energy Frequency. My name is Renee. I'm your host. All right, so where in your life have you been waiting for permission? One of the biggest problems that most people have when they sit back and they want to regain their power and be within themselves, they are asking permission. It may not be consciously, it may be very subconsciously. It's that looking for affirmation that you are doing the correct thing. Especially being a woman, this has been something that's been entrained into all of us since being small children. We always looked for the accolades of our parents, of you're being a good girl, you're doing the right thing, and getting rewarded for it. And this is what we've brought into adulthood, into our lives as we currently sit. So as we sit here fully, functionally independent people, women, whomever is listening to this, whoever this is tapping into, you're still looking over your shoulder at points to say, who's applauding me? Who is the one that's giving me permission to move forward with what I'm doing? And it's when we don't have that we kind of stop. So let's look. Who are we waiting to be chosen by to give us permission? It could be a partner, a client, an employer, my audience like you, a friend, and even your own family. It's living into that main character energy, which really entrances these people and who you look to. Main character energy begins the moment you choose yourself. The pick me mentality, the pick me conditioning. We are raised to be good, pleasing, easy, impressive. And everything in our performance is based on this. So we at all times have been being trained to live up to others' expectations. So if we're expected to be, let's say, a good daughter, and a good daughter takes care of her parents, respects them no matter what, does what they need to do, puts their needs before theirs because they have to give respect to the parent. That may be one thing when you're 6. But let's fast forward to 46. You're the mom. You may also be the grandmother at that point, but your parents are still around. But every time you walk into your parents' house, and this could even be when you don't walk into your parents' house. This could be 100% subconsciously. Your parents could have already passed and their words can still live in your mind. But when you walk in there, you all of a sudden, if they're a, let's just say not nice, or they're a narcissistic or very, very abusive to you your entire life, they're going to be that to you. And you are going to go into that manner of, I can't say anything back. I'm not being a good girl. Or you having your own life expectations and responsibilities, and they call you. And being a good girl, you're going to go run to that because you have to listen to your parents. You are still in the pick me conditioning of pick me because I'm good. I'm a good girl and I'm going to do all these things, and you're going to be impressed by me. You're going to love me enough. You're going to do all these things because I'm doing the right thing. You're conditioned to act that way. And every time you do it, you may get a response, a positive response. And I hope everybody out there does. But 9 times out of 10, people are not. People aren't getting what they're looking for. So that's why people are looking for that main character energy tap. It's tapping into that, saying, I have boundaries, I have limitations to what I will allow into my energy. By sitting back and allowing yourself to pick me over picking them, you're setting that boundary. You're setting your own expectation. Again, back to the parent example of, if they're still yelling and talking to you like you're 12 and you're 54, 46, 39, you can look at them and say, I'm a grown adult. If you need me here to help you, I'm 100%, I'm your kid, great. But you're going to talk to me with respect, or else I'm going to go home. You can set your own boundaries. By setting boundaries with people in that pick me conditioning, that shows them you're now putting yourself first and you have your own expectations, you are going to be in that mentality of power. And I'm not talking power over people. I'm talking power within yourself. That power of, I make the decisions for my life. I'm allowing you, whether it's parent, whomever it is, boss, friends, I don't care who it is. You're allowing those people into your circle because they're giving you the respect you deserve. I have a client who I am so enjoying watch. She is quantum leaping through the last 4 months, and it is spectacular to watch. I watched her come in for energy therapy, and she started doing my meditation classes and all the different things I offer. She just threw herself into it. But as she was doing it, I saw her raising her boundary levels. I saw her raising her expectations from the people around her, from her work environment to her friends to people that mattered to her for so long. She went through a whole 5-year sobriety, and she's phenomenal and she's great. I love her. And she's now peeling away the people in her life that are in the pick me conditioning. They have made her feel and question herself and the things that she wants, and making her feel that what she's doing is selfish. Not her sobriety, but all the other choices she's making. Doing energy work and choosing to do other things that is different from the norm. Setting her own boundaries. She threw herself into her main character energy so hard that everything is aligning for her in a way that is absolutely spectacular, from job to love life to new friend groups, because she peeled away those aspects of people that didn't respect her boundaries, didn't respect of where she wanted to go. And as soon as she peeled that off, the universe said, you're ready, let's go. And it took her, and she is flying. So when you're sitting back and realizing you need to set your boundaries, there's a reason. You feel you have to set a boundary, set it. There's a reason you feel that you need to let a friend or friend group go because they're not respecting your boundaries or respecting who you are as a person or doing anything to let you live into that main character. Let them go. Because the universe is basically making you feel uncomfortable, making you notice, and saying it is time to level up. When are you ready to level up? You need to listen. When you say, yeah, I really don't need this person in my life anymore, or I no need to take that attitude, abuse, way of speaking to me from a partner, from anyone, from a boss. If a boss is treating you subpar and not giving you common decency, respect, you have the right to open your mouth. I'm not perfect. When I'm in my boss mode in one of my other, ways of my life, sometimes I forget to talk nicely. And I have one employee, and she will remind me of it every time. And I will sit back and look at myself and be like, you know what? I'm not letting her live into her main character energy. And she deserves that. If you don't have a person in your life that can sit back and say, wow, they just threw up a boundary for me and I need to live up to that so I and her and or them or you can be included in each other's lives and keep moving forward together, you need to shed yourself of that person because that person will keep trying to drag your energy down. So that is that pick me. You're allowed to pick me at any times. You're allowed to open your mouth. You're allowed to express because you are the boundary setter. You're the person saying, I'm picking me. And that is so very important. This is very difficult because as growing up, we've always wanted to be chosen. You always see in the satire, comedies and, like, oh my God, pick me. And they're like playing a game. And it's like the concept of being picked last is the most upsetting thing in the world. And people are conditioned to want to be picked and wanting to be chosen. It makes you feel safer. It's that fear of rejection and fear of abandonment that we are trying to escape from. Why put myself out there to be chosen? What if I'm not? What if what I do isn't going to work? What if what I'm doing is going to make people not like me anymore? And it goes back to my story of if you're up leveling, people aren't going to be happy that are in your current circle if they're not supportive of you. Those people that are trying to keep you down are going to sit there and make you feel like garbage. They're going to make you like, oh, why are you doing that? Or why are you with that person? Or, wouldn't it be more fun if you came over and did this and hung out with us instead? They're not going, hey, what an awesome journey. Let us know how it goes. You're going to go do that today, or you're choosing to do that, or you're choosing that person. We love you. We support you. Fantastic. We don't want to do it, but you do you. We're here when you want to come and hang out. They don't have to go on your journey, but most people will pull you down. So that is attacking your nervous system. Even though these people may not be good for you or the situation not be good for you, you have an immediate fear of rejection. And when that rejection hits, it's that fear of abandonment. Like, I'm going to lose everyone and everything. It's a childhood pattern replay. It's that, kids will fight over a swing and all the friends hate each other. I have a daughter and I see that consistently. Like, the friend group will have an argument or they won't like something my daughter does. And for 3 days, she's fighting with her friends. It's like, nobody wants to talk to me. They get over it. But that fear of rejection for her is so real. And that 3 days is so hard for her. Even though as a mother, I know it's going to turn around in 3 days. She doesn't. And what is being ingrained in her is if I do things differently or I speak out or I do something that they don't like, I'm going to be rejected. And it's very hard as a mom to try to reprogram that for my child, but it's something that is naturally done throughout our life. So when you're sitting here, you need to start regulating yourself before reacting. So if you sit back and start pulling away and people are starting to give you this kickback reaction that you don't like, you can react by getting mad, upset, and all these things which are going to pull you back from your main character energy. Or you can react with love and say, great, that's your opinion. I'm going to go over here. And if they still don't support you, you can choose to cut those off or do as you may. But keeping your nervous system in a state of calm, even when change is happening, kickback is happening, is key to letting that situation travel through your nervous system, not get caught as a block, so it doesn't hold you back. It's scary at first, but as soon as you see that once you let that fear flow and not stick and you make changes you need to make, it opens the doors for so much more, so much better people, so much better situations, because you're letting go of the non-supportive main character energy people. Let's talk about how it shows up in dating. Dating and relationships is the key. It's the most intimate relationship we have as adults. You know, the energy you put out is so important. Even the energy they don't see. You know, what is the energy people don't see? So you're dating or you're hanging out with somebody or waiting for somebody or whatever the case may be. Your energy you're putting out, let's say you're waiting for texts, you're waiting for a commitment, you're, accepting crumbs of, we'll hang out after. The key that I see with so many women and so many people is over analyzing energy shifts. So somebody has a bad day, they've pulled back a little bit, men retreat into their cave, and immediately the woman's like, it's my fault. I'm probably still guilty of this at times with myself. But that person that you're with, by the way, has a whole other life other than you, and that affects their energy as well. Shrinking to be less intimidating. Women do it all the time. They don't want to seem pushy or too powerful or, too much like the guy. Shrinking down and lessening your glow, diminishing your pink, totally takes away from your main character energy. I have a whole coaching program literally built around manifesting your pink back. A little side story to that is flamingos, when they become moms, lose their color because they're giving their energy to their child and their pink diminishes. And over time, the pink, slowly comes back. Women, when they're in relationships, becoming mothers, becoming anything, allow their energy to shift and allow themselves to shrink down to become a less important factor in their life. You have to sit back and put yourself as that main character to emphasize your color, your strength, your importance of self, to give that energy so you as a person feels whole in a dating relationship or in a mother relationship. So when you're dating, you have to remember a secure person does not audition. If you are auditioning and being something you're not, you are being an actor. If you have a boundary of, I don't like this, and that person, you don't say to that person because you want to seem different, you are an actor in your relationship. And that's not going to work. You need to show up authentically. Why do relationships peter out? Oh, that person, I never knew that person was like that. If you're not showing who you are, it is no one's fault in that relationship if it does not work. If you are shrinking, if you're being quiet, if you are not setting expectations, that is you shrinking. And you are doing an audition that is not you. This includes, let's talk to the people in 25-year marriages. You're changing. Your kids are aging up. You've gone back to college. You've gone back into the workforce. You've just gotten a promotion. You want to have more experiences now that your kids are out of the house. You want to start traveling. You're changing who you are. Your main character is that person that's sitting there now who's different than the main character who she was at 20. You have to make sure you're showing up in your relationship and having that conversation with your partner about, hey, this is what I want. You can't get pissed off at him or her if they aren't, acknowledging what you want. If you didn't sit down and say, hey, this is my new life plan. These are my new life goals. Let's plan it together. This is what I need. This is what I want. And this is what I'm going to do. If you want to come with me, because I'm going to go trek off and I'm going to go to Antarctica because that's been a dream of mine. Great. I'm going to go do it. We have the means, we have the abilities. If you don't want to do it, that's you. You are allowed to live your main character energy. You're allowed to have your life with your partner, But your partner doesn't always have to want to do what you want to do. They have their own life. They have their own main character energy. That's okay. However, do not continue to audition in your relationships. Just because you're at a 25-year mark and you've changed, don't audition. Put it out there. Here's my new main character. Let's write a new script. But you have to show up as you. That is what's going to show where you're supposed to be. In business, I already, said, people shrink to their boss to, oh my God, I'm going to lose my job, or I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, or settling into a situation where you see, shenanigans happening at work that aren't right, or just being quiet, being the good girl. You have to wait and look and say, what's going on here? What am I doing? You have to shift yourself. If it's even just sitting in a position that you want to raise or you want a elevation in your position, it's your job to pitch yourself. You want to make sure you're raising the standard of who you are in order to show your main character energy. Again, not doing an audition for somebody that's not you. You need to put the confidence within yourself to put yourself out there. Is it going to be taken every time, like putting out a new idea, a new concept, a new business idea, a new way of doing things in the business? Show yourself. You have the knowledge, you have the idea. Worst case scenario, that boss may say no. Or you may be lucky enough to have that boss that says, that's amazing, let's go for it. In your job, you have to always present your best foot forward. Don't be quiet. Record your ideas. Share them with only the people you trust. And make sure your main character energy focus is always shining bright. If they don't appreciate it, then that's maybe your nod to move on to a company that does. It's the energy that you really sit with all of I've just discussed, with an identity shift. Your old identity says, I am good enough. Question mark. Do they like me? Will they choose me? Your new identity needs to say, do I want this? Is this aligned to who I currently am? Does this choose me back? And here's the key. I am the prize. Main character energy is equal to self-selection. If you are not selecting yourself, you are not in main character energy. Here's a little bit of energetic reality before we cut for today. Just remember, what you chase will always run away. When you stop gripping, things will shift. When you detach, that means separate, you allow magnetism to come in, and you become most attractive when you're already full. This is the concepts you have to remember as you're moving through. If you're sitting there, just take one of those. Let's start with what you chase will run away. I don't care if that's a person, if that is a job, if that is a situation, whatever it is. Friends, if you're chasing after their approval, they're including you, they're anything, it is going to run away. It's like chasing a dog. If you start chasing a dog, it's going to run because it's seeing the need. It's feeling trapped. It's feeling that you aren't deserving of that emotion right now. So just remember, as you're sitting and you want your main character energy, just follow field rules. When it comes to people, places, things, let's think about Stop double texting. You put a text out, they don't respond, don't ever text again. Don't double text. Stop explaining yourself. You don't need to explain something you need/want to anyone. Send the pitch, send the idea, take the risk at work or in a job situation, or even in a friend group. Send a pitch to what you want to see next. Here is to all my creators out there. Post a video. It is the hardest thing, living into your main character energy, when you are living in a raw moment and saying to everybody, here I am, putting out to millions and billions of people and putting it out there. Sitting here doing this podcast took me a year to sit down and sit on a microphone and say, I'm doing this. So post the video, post the podcast, post it. Whether it's for business or for pleasure or for friends or whatever the case may be, post it. Trust me, it is such a encouraging and empowering thing. And I find the most fun in it. Raise your rate. Know your worth. You're a hairdresser. You're a Reiki therapist. You're whatever. If you're a DJ, raise your rate. Know your worth. Don't sell poor. Sell rich. Don't sell cheap. Don't sell sale. Sell your worth and raise your rate. You are worth everything. Your time, your energy is worth it. And say things without over-explaining. That is your authority. That is your main character energy. You're not waiting to be chosen. You are going to decide where your energy goes. And main characters don't sit in the audience. They take control of their own lives. The moment you choose yourself, the audition ends, and you are the main character. Everybody have a great week. See you next time.